Panther Nation podcast. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, cut it. Cut right. And I would like to introduce one of the hottest podcasts in Carolina history. Let's go. Talk less chat. We got time to chop it up. Talking analytics and fantasy draft. You know what's up. Panther Nation representing. Cause this is where we talk that. Talk that's so incredible. Make them rewind that talk back. Pause. Talking Panthers football, we discussing it all. On and off the field, you know exactly who to call. You know we the #1 podcast. Competition is non-existent, you need to stop that. Pause. It's an honor to be a Panther fan, pause. At Bank of America, that is where we ball. Coming to the jungle, then you gonna feel the pause. Winning the trophy for the city, it is the cause. Black, white, and blue, we going Carolina strong. And this is the conversation where everyone belongs. Discussing all the numbers and topics, you know we got it. We the hottest podcast, and we popping. Let's go.
QueenCityPodcastNetwork.com.
We the hottest podcast and we popping. Let's go,
are.
Dave. Let's go, Dave. What we talking about?
Listen, man, I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. I am trying to prepare for a new show that I'm starting tonight, and this right here. Why? Shout out Sportsology.
Is
Shout
that
out
what we
Sportsology,
doing?
y'all. Shout out Sportsology. Bruh.
I gotta. All right. Are we gonna pod, Dave? Or are we gonna?
All I know is
how we rolling with this, Dave?
All I know is this. My new show starts at 8:00 tonight, so you know how long I'm gonna be on this show, dog. Come on, man. You out here talking about you got a firm and you stay in house? Come on, man.
My man Deontay said, "Shout out to Tepology." Man. Yo, that's
you can't
funny.
make this up. You can't make this up, bro.
Funny.
You can't make this
All
up,
right,
man.
All right, yeah. All right, let's
You
okay.
can't.
Let's take a step back. Everybody hold on. Let's take a step back. Dave, I want your pause, your raw reaction when you got the alert. I don't know if it was me that announced
it was
to you.
Like, dog, if I tell you, listen, shout out to everybody in PNP. I got a new show called MD. I'll post a link on my personal Twitter page. I'm going over HBCU news every Monday at 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Some of y'all might care, some of y'all might not, but check it out since I got this opportunity. But dog, I did not see this till you sent the text. Then when you sent the text, I went and found a tweet and I literally retweeted Sportsology. That's all I could do. That's all I could do. And let me be clear. I like Dan Morgan.
We like Dan Morgan.
I like Dan Morgan, man. I do.
We do like Dan.
I genuinely do. But yo, why pay for, y'all should definitely watch my show tonight. Why pay for the firm if you're not going to utilize it?
Well, maybe they did. Maybe who's to say that was not the recommendation of said firm? No, because listen, all right. Because all right. Let me
Didn't
play
the 49ers
devil's advocate.
use that same firm?
They did, but they also did keep some internal guys, not at the GM level.
Yeah.
Not the GM level.
Yes.
But they did keep folks. Okay, let me take a step back. When I first saw the news, because listen, when I'm not surprised by this. Number one, when you saw the remaining guys that got second interviews, bro, you already knew it was gonna be Dan Morgan. Like, bro,
I mean,
Hallaby could have made a push.
Yes,
he could have made a push. But we already knew, like, you had to know that Dan Morgan was going to lead the pack with the guys that were getting the second interviews. Now, am I excited about this? No. My guy, Mike Disner, backed out. He said, no, I'm not coming here.
Yeah, that was the guy I wanted, man.
That's the guy I wanted. That's the guy I wanted to come to Carolina. When he backed out, it was like, all right, cool. Dan Morgan, let me play devil's advocate for those that don't like this. Let me play a little bit of devil's advocate here, right? Because so the devil's advocate is this: Dan Morgan has a personnel background. He has a scout background. Yes, he is a holdover from the prior regime. What level of impact or what level of say did Dan Morgan have in that room? Right? We have to question that. Is he going to? And the go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
What say will he have now?
Great point. Great point. President of Football Operations. That is the title that it comes along with his job. President of Football Operations / General Manager. So would Tepper hand the reins over to? Listen, if anybody's going to hand the reins over to, if Tepper's going to hand the reins over to anybody, it's going to be somebody that has been around and knows what's going on. You really think he's going to hand the reins over to somebody just off a whim and off the streets? He ain't never
and that's why I knew. That's why I knew Jim Harbaugh wasn't going to happen. That's how I knew
right.
was going to happen.
So I actually think this is again play devil's advocate a little bit. I think this lends to maybe Tepper saying, "All right, I'm gonna give it over, but I gotta keep. It's gotta be a guy that knows me. We worked together for 3 or 4 years now, 3 years, and so he kind of knows the situation here. In knowing the situation, right? This is where I think this is a little bit of a positive, right? Is he my top guy? No, but this is where I do think this is positive. He knows the current contract situations, right? He understands the situation ahead of him when it comes to Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Frankie Louvu, all these guys. He's already got a head start with what's going on there. So that's a positive. That's a positive.
That's fair.
So he knows Bryce Young. He scouted, was around. We drafted Bryce Young. He knows what it's going to take to elevate Bryce Young. So that's a little bit of a positive. Again, was he my top guy? Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I was fearful of this though.
Okay.
And part of the reason why I was fearful of this is because, and this is just I've been saying this time and time again. If Tepper is serious about letting the reins off, I think he needed somebody from the outside. Because my biggest fear is that Dan, and he might not, and I could be wrong, and God dang it, I hope I am. But the thing is, because he's been in that room, because he knows the operations, because of what he's seen so far since he's been there, I'm concerned that he might not be able to do his job properly. If hiring him gives Tepper a reason to stick his nose in there, that's not good. It's not. Yeah. Like that's where it comes down to it for me. So it's more about that aspect of it all more than anything else, because the goal is to have somebody in here that can just do his job and he walks away. Now, if Dan is able to do his job and he walks away, cool. I'm straight. Rock it. Let's go. But otherwise, I'm going to be in despair for the next couple of years. And I've already been in enough despair covering this team.
Yeah, bro. I'm going to be honest, bro. I try to look at the bright side of things. And that's the positive piece too. And I get everybody's disdain. I get everybody, because I'm with y'all. I would prefer to wipe the slate clean and just call it a day. But I do think that Tepper would more have had a hard time. He would have had a harder time handing the reins over to a guy off the street than hiring a guy like Dan Morgan and giving him full reign. I think that Dan Morgan has earned the right. He has a track record, right? You go back to his Bills days. They built the team up there. They know what they're doing. So, listen, if you want, we talk about copying success. We want that, right? The Bills have been successful, although they can't get over the Patrick Mahomes hump. Ain't too many teams out there that can, right? They can't get over that hump. But darn it, they put together a good team.
Yep.
They put together a good team.
I'm shocked.
And Dan Morgan had something to do with that.
And valid point. Valid point. I mean, Dan Morgan has something to do with that, but our their GM did too, right? Who came from Carolina. But I'm not trying to not give Dan Morgan the credit that he did for building that team in Buffalo, because he deserves a lot of that credit. And by the way, on our off topic about Buffalo, I'm shocked that Sean McDermott still has a job today. That being said, like I said, it's just about whether or not you're gonna let the man do his job. And now I think this opens the door for Dan Canales to be in our head coach.
Yes,
and
a great point. Great point.
Now that being said, if we're a believer in the pairing the GM with somebody they know, there's only two options here, and y'all should be worried about the second one. Definitely the peace sign.
Balloons again. I told you it was the peace. I told you, Dave. I told you that it was a sign that you do. That's thank you. I appreciate that.
Look, listen, man. Listen.
I told you that's what it was. Your hand motion. That's what pause. That's what makes the balloons go.
Real talk. Listen, man. What? Like, don't you do the same peace out as me? Like,
but it ain't me. I don't have a Mac. You have a Mac. That's a Mac thing, bro. I'm telling you, I told you, bro. But my bad.
And it didn't even work that time. So like,
it's random. You gotta. It's random. But anyway, that's funny. That is funny. Anyway, but going back to your point, it's a great point. Canales, I think Canales is getting a second interview, bro.
You know who else is getting a second interview?
Who else is that, Dave?
Raheem Morris is getting a second interview.
Who?
Raheem Morris.
Okay, I thought that's what you said. I thought you butchered his name.
No, anyway, come on, dog. I already got balloons coming in my picture. Now you telling me I'm butchering names?
My bad. No, you got it. I couldn't understand what you said, but you got it. My bad.
Listen, and the thing is, so that covers the Rooney Rule. That covers the Rooney Rule right there.
Well, we had already interviewed them, right? They don't have to get second interviews, right?
I think in person is required, but I don't know.
But Dave, I do want you to elaborate, because you that was news to me, bro. I had no idea that Canales covered the Rooney Rule, bro. Y'all, I didn't know that. So elaborate on that, Dave, because you schooled me. You schooled me.
So here's the thing when it comes to the Rooney Rule. Evero doesn't count because Evero's in-house. Just like Thomas Brown wouldn't count because Thomas Brown is in-house. So to cover the Rooney Rule is going to be Canales and Morris. That covers the Rooney Rule. From that standpoint, it used to count, but then folks got angry about it because they were out here just pulling just some random coach from the roster, from the staff, just to get the interview out the way so they can hire who they want to hire. So they wanted to stop that. So they got to get 2 external candidates. That's the requirement. And y'all got to get these likes up. We pushing almost 700 people in here, man. Y'all got to get these likes up.
700 people in the building. Hit that like button. Also, if you want to support me and my popcorn fundraiser, I'm still behind like almost $200. Hit that pinned comment and purchase some popcorn from your boy, because I need to get first place. I don't like being in second. If you ain't first, you're last. And right now I'm last because I'm not in first. So support the channel. Hit that pinned comment.
What the hell am I?
You in the basement, bro. But hit that pinned comment. Hit the pinned chat. Excuse me, the pinned comment in the chat, and buy some popcorn from your boy. If you need a recommendation, I'm a fan of that In Queso Fire. Go ahead and grab some of that, bro. I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all.
Shout out to Carlo. Like I said earlier.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, now you got it.
I ain't mean to do that.
I'll put it back.
I ain't mean to do that. Yeah.
So shout out to Carlo. Like I mentioned earlier, they both have to be in person. So the virtual interviews do not count. They have to be in person. They gotta come into the office and be like, "Hi,
my name is
Dave Canales," or "Hi, come on, man, you supposed to do this.
My name is
Raheem Morris," and then we just keep it moving that way. You know what I'm saying?
My bad, Dave. I messed it up. My bad.
Slim Shady.
But fundraiser ends tomorrow before the show. It'll end before the show is over. So 5:00 tomorrow is when the fundraiser ends, for those that's asking. So, man, pull out a credit card, man. Some of y'all get paid. Pull out a credit card, buy some popcorn from your boy, man. I appreciate that, because I don't like losing. My bad. Anyway, I hate losing, bro. If you ain't first, you're last. All right. So, real quick, I want to pull this up. Shout out to the good guys over at the Keep. Hold on, real quick. Shout out to my guys over there at the Keep Purring podcast. Because they tagged me on something today. They reached out to Dave Canales' brother. Okay, Dave Canales' brother. And shout out to they said, shout out to Ben from Keep Purring. He says, tell Dave Panther Nation would welcome him with open arms as our new head coach, despite beating us twice last season, or this season, excuse me. Josh Canales, his brother, goes on to say, appreciate that. Bryce Young is a SoCal guy also. Lots of connections there. You never know what God has in store.
I mean, we're not picking people before we have our second interviews now, are we? And there's still a week left. I mean, I don't think Ben Johnson's happening, but he's still out there. Mike McDonald's still out there. We can start interviewing those guys and gals that are still in the playoffs on January 29th. Do in-person interviews, starting on January 29th, the day after the championship games. It's interesting with him. With Dan Morgan, truth be told, like before we got into the little tangent, truth be told, if we're about the, we gotta have the coach with the GM type of situation, there's only two options. And that's Canales and Dan Quinn. And if those are my two options, give me Canales.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cut and dry.
So we talked about this on our last show about the connections between the coaches, right? And it's important. That is important because, again, you want guys that you've worked with in the past. And Dan Morgan, to elaborate on what Dave is saying, there's only two guys that he's worked with in the past. That's Canales out in Seattle, and that's Dan Morgan. Also, Dan Quinn. That's also out in Seattle.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that connection is there. Just because you have a feeling for a guy, what his tendencies are, what personnel he needs. There's a lot that can go into play there. And so I like this is why I kind of like Canales. I like Canales before the Ben Johnson or the Dan Morgan hire. It makes more sense now, to be honest with you. Canales, it makes sense. He's been able to. He's like the QB whisperer almost. He gets good production out of mid quarterbacks. And if you think Bryce Young is mid, then you're gonna want Canales because Canales has done great things with mid quarterbacks. You talking about Geno Smith? We talking about Baker Mayfield, and listen. At the end of the real talk, if you don't like Bryce Young, cool, that's on you. He's gonna be around for the next 3 to 4 years, so you might as well get the guy here that's gonna get the best out of him. You know what I mean? So that's just. He's not gonna be our culture guy. He's not gonna be the best culture guy.
He ain't gonna be what a Raheem would be.
We don't know that to be true. We don't know that, but we haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. Callahan too. I mean, people are saying why not Callahan? I don't know, man. Some people love Callahan. I'm not sold. I'm not quite sold on Callahan just yet.
I wasn't either.
Honestly, I haven't. I'm not sold.
Let's do some super chats, man. We got about 9 of them.
You read my mind.
Yeah, let's get to the top. Teb said, "Y'all want me to step back?"
Yo, that's funny, Omar. Yo, that's funny.
Shout out to Omar Tillman for the super chat.
Shout out to Omar. Yo, that's funny, bro. That's funny, dog.
All right.
Funny.
Shout out to Stephen V. This organization is a joke. Shout out to Akash. So the fact that we hired Dan this early, does this confirm that no one wants to come here? Bruh. Y'all ready to have that talk?
Bro, I think I'm gonna be honest. That was the first thing that popped in my head was that okay, they might have wanted Disner. He decided to pull out. Pause. That's my bad, Dave. Hey, we on silly mode today. I don't know what's up with that.
Look, man, I gotta say some of this for my show tonight, man.
Yo, I know we on silly mode. My bad. We on silly mode. But my bad. But I felt like when he dropped out of the race, I said pause. I said pause. Man, relax. I already said it. But when he decided to remove his name from contention, like I don't see. Do you ever see that with anybody else, Dave? Like, I feel like
it happened
we the only
last
team,
bro.
I know, but I feel like it only happens to us.
This is listen. Maybe like I had the joke about the black job, but it wasn't a joke. It was kind of serious too, bruh. We're from when it comes to the head coaching position, we're teetering on that right now, guys. We're just teetering there. We're teetering there. We're there. We're at the point where nobody's going to take this job. Well, somebody's going to take it. It's just not going to be who you want. You know what I'm saying? And that's, but there are options out there where I think it can work from some of the folks who, that you guys probably don't want. I think this is a valid point by Akash. B, for the lack of the first pick or having to work with Tap. Like losing that first round pick is important. I told y'all. Important. Important, damn it.
There's a lot of constraints with this job. It's not like a regular clean slate job. Like Dave said, with the lack of first round pick, having to work with Bryce Young, having to work with Tepper, bro. There's a lot of constraints.
No. There's more to it. The fact that you're the third GM since he's been here.
Yeah, that too. The insecurity or lack, whatever. The lack of security, the different. There's a lot. It's a lot to work with Tepper, and so maybe Dan Morgan is the only guy we could get, which is probably why. When I've been saying this pretty consistently, this is why we're gonna end up hiring a guy, and not to say Canales can't do the job. I think Canales has done an amazing job with that offense. But does anybody? He was not on anybody's radar prior to what, the playoffs? I mean, we talking about the playoffs, Dave.
Playoffs?
We talking about the playoffs. Nobody was talking about Dave Canales before the playoffs. Not a soul. And now all of a sudden
folks started putting 1 and 1 together, like, oh, look what he did with Baker. Even though Baker did Baker at the end of that game, but I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah. So shout out to you, Akash. We got a bunch of super chats we got to hit.
Go ahead, Dave.
Steve V, this organization is just like a girl who is in a bad relationship, but she keeps coming back to the same dude. Well, there's reasons why you do that, because you get what you want. Sometimes you get what you want, you come back to the same one. Shout out to Steve V for the super chat. Carson, 1. I'm the only one who likes this. Tillis coming too. I don't know.
Yeah, so real quick, pause on that. So Joe Person has announced also that Brant Tillis could come in to run the cap/business side of it. So
what happens to Samir?
Deuces. What you mean? Deuces out of here. I mean, he gone, Dave. He gone. I mean, that's what they're saying. Brant Tillis could come in. That's what Joe Person has reported. Listen, and shout out to Joe Person. I think he got an inkling of what was going to happen because he put out an article this morning talking about the Dan Morgan and what was going to happen. But Joe Person is saying Brant Tillis could come in, but I don't know why would he leave. Why would you leave the Chiefs? The bag, I guess.
What? Hold on. Let me get one. Let me see. Where do I have a bag available? Ah, damn it! I don't have a bag.
I got an empty bag. You went mute, Dave.
Oh, I did. That's not good. No, you can't. You can hear me, right?
Or it might just be me. It might be me.
Yeah, it's got to be you. Nah, the bag. Well, while you do that, let me finish up these super chats.
Hold on 1 second. My headphones might have died, Dave.
Yeah. Do what you got to do. I'm gonna finish up these super chats.
I'm good. I'm good now. I'm good.
Shout out to QJ Smith. Tepper new puppet is Dan. Tepper hasn't learned. Shaking my head. Guess not. Shout out to Yoas Manny. Oh God, I think I'm gonna be sick. Well, we try to prep y'all for this. Mr. Elevation, I hope Dan Morgan is not a yes man for Tepper. Listen. We're gonna find out, aren't we? Stephen V, they keep an Evero defensive coordinator in the special teams. Bro, I don't know this is going to happen. I already made my opinion on this. Yeah. I know for a fact there's one coach that'll probably, in my opinion, that'll probably keep Evero if he gets the job. There's one guy, and that's because of the connection. I can't speak for the rest of them. That's Raheem Morris. So I would like to keep Evero, but I don't know if he's gonna stick around if depending on who gets this head coaching vacancy.
Yeah, man.
All right, and one more detail. But is he a yes man? Will he have some nuts? I don't know. He has those already. But the question is, will he step up to Tepper?
We'll see. We'll see.
That's the key. Is he going to step to Tep? Is he going to step to Tep? Because if he ain't going to step to Tep, it's a moot point. All right, we got one more. Shout out to John. DM may have been the guy all along that was in Tep's ear that led to firings. I love that he's a former player. I love that he's a former player too, but if you guys haven't read that article about the whole expose, man, it was kind of intense when you sat down and think about it. Damn.
Hey,
and I don't even watch Good Times. I knew about that one.
I just pulled up the Joe Person article, and I wanted to read from it because where he mentions this. He says some in league circles believe Tepper could be looking to pair Dan Morgan with an executive. Pair him with an executive with a salary cap and contracts background, such as Hallaby or Chiefs Brent Tillis. He's the president of the football operations for the Chiefs. But how does that work? It's a lateral move for both of them. You just throwing generational bags at each of them to get them to come here to Carolina to essentially take the same role. That would be dope to get Dan Morgan and Hallaby in the same front office. That would be dope because you get the analytics piece, you get the cap piece. Tillis, again, we've covered his resume. That resume is pretty solid. Extending guys like Chris Jones, Mahomes, building that roster, putting that roster together, letting guys like Tyreek Hill walk, and still doing what they got to do. Obviously, because they have Mahomes, but being able to shape that roster, he's done a great job with that. So I'm not mad at all if they're gonna pair him with the Tillis or a Hallaby. So it looks like we're not done. Not done.
You want to hear a funny story about the Chiefs?
Go ahead, Dave.
Who's responsible for how Patrick Mahomes got there?
Who's that, Dave?
The Bills.
Yeah,
they traded with the Chiefs so the Chiefs can move up to take Patrick Mahomes in that draft in 2017. Yeah. Okay. There was something I saw that I wanted to say something about. But somebody asked, would Dan be a scouting coach in the analytics? He would be a scouting GM.
Yeah, he's a scout. He's a scouting guy. We covered that the last show. We went over their backgrounds. Dan Morgan is a scout guy. He again helped build that Bills roster, man. Like we can't forget about that. He's been around for a while, bro. Around for a while.
Shout out to Stephen V for the super chat. Can we make any moves to get into the first in 2024? I don't want to. Absolutely not. I don't want to. I mean, of course we can, but it's going to cost us first in future drafts, and I don't want to do that. I'd rather go ahead and take our medicine and keep it moving. I think that, and we mentioned it earlier, that could have been a big factor in making a decision on how to handle that.
Yeah. Again, and just to recap, let's just circle back. 700 people in the building. Hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit that sub button for your boy. Also, hit that pin chat. Go buy some popcorn from your boy. I just hit first place, but it's slim. It's slim. I'm only up by like $100. I mean, $11. Excuse me.
11. About to say, I'll be lying to the people either now.
I need that to happen. So real quick, just a level set. Dan Morgan has been hired as president of football operations / general manager. Dan Morgan, if you don't know, has played for the Carolina Panthers in the past, so he knows what it's like. He understands the culture, and maybe could help establish some of that culture and look for a guy in the head coach that can help build that culture. And if that culture piece is missing, I'm sure Dan Morgan can help with that establishment of the culture piece. Let's say we hire a Canales and he doesn't quite know the culture piece, or maybe Dan Morgan can help him with that. That's a positive as well. Also, that's a great point. Alex says that, points out that Dan Morgan was also out there in Seattle. He was out there with Fitterer when they built that.
Go ahead. I want to do the super chat and we can get back to this.
Yep,
Miss Elevation, shout out to you again for super chat. Tepper has brass balls. Does Dan? We will see. Either way, we are stuck with Tepper's decisions. Bro, look, we talk about Seattle and Fitterer. I got questions. Because in essence, we just pretty much kept the train with Seattle. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Dan Morgan was out in Seattle. Yes, he helped with Buffalo, but him and Fitter are tight. So I'm just questioning what are we getting out of like there's always the question about what we're getting out of this too. Like that's a factor too. You know what I'm saying?
This is a good point. White chocolate espresso. People sound like the Lions fans 3 years ago.
No, but the thing no, we're not. I'm not. No,
Dave, I don't know. I don't know, Dave. I think you might have a point.
No, we don't. No, he doesn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the Lions 3 years ago, what they did, they hired two folks that weren't even in the organization at the time to be the GM and the head coach. It is not the same.
No, but he's talking strictly about the reaction to the hire.
Yeah, but they hired. But the difference is the Lions hired both of their folks at the same time. We're still trying to find our coach.
True.
So like it's not the same. It's not the same. And you know, even the Lions do better not to stay in house. I mean, we talk about the things that Dan Morgan did outside of Carolina, but we're not talking enough about what he's done while he was here. Like if you want to keep it a buck, but we'll see. Shout out to Trey. This is very questionable. Indeed. I think shout out to the Panthers then. I think there's less negative here than people are seeing. No, I think there's some positives to come out of this. My biggest fear is whether or not he's going to be able to do his job properly.
I think with you have to look at the titles. Titles matter. President of Football Operations. And again, I feel like if anybody's going to hand over if Dave Tepper's going to hand over the reins or at least give him more of a responsibility, it's going to be somebody he knows. So I think it's going to be a guy like a Dan Morgan. I keep saying that because I believe that if it was somebody off the street, somebody we don't know, doesn't have any ties to the Carolinas, he's not just going to say, hey, here you go. He's not doing that. And who's to say, we keep going back to this and Tepper and all that, who's to say this is not who Sportsology landed on? Who's to say that's not the case? We can't. We don't know. We don't know that to be true.
And here's the thing, man. We'll never know.
So why did you tweet and retweet the Sportsology thing?
Why?
Yeah.
Listen, bro.
If we don't know, then why'd you even do that,
bro? We don't know, but we know.
We don't. We have no clue.
You're telling me 32 NFL teams, 32 sets of front offices, and Tepper spent all this money on these guys that are known to getting different organizations together. And the response he got back was, yeah, you straight. Just hire somebody from the crib. What? I just, it's hard for me to believe. Hashtag.
I don't know, man.
That's why you got the retweet.
I'm waiting and see, man. I'm a wait and see guy. Like I feel like Dan.
I'm rooting for Dan. I love Dan as a player, so I'm rooting for him. That's the thing. Like I want this to work. It's just
that's funny, bro.
Carolina has no dogs. We have a lot of puppies.
A lot of puppies.
Helen Keller's dog. My question is, how?
I appreciate y'all super chats, man, but y'all got to buy some popcorn, bro.
That's a
hit
fact.
That pin. Hit that pin.
Or you know what you guys could do? Do me a favor. Help me out. Because I would love.
Dave.
I don't want no popcorn. Not about the popcorn. You can have the popcorn. I got a show live that's going to be live at 8:00.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There you go. See, go to HBCU Nightly, search HBCU Nightly, and subscribe. Since you guys are here in these streets, go to YouTube, search HBCU Nightly, and go over there and subscribe. Let's get these subs up. I go live at 8:00. We're gonna have a show pretty much almost. You know, I got a show this coming up at 8:00. So let's just do it. But my question is how different Morgan's vision is to Fitterer. Brandon Beane was Herney's boy, but it's looking like Beane is the better GM. This is a good point. Like, we got to have a discussion about what the vision is going to be for Morgan. Is he going to be more of the Brandon Beane variety, or is he more of a Fitterer guy?
I don't know. I don't understand what that means. What does that even
As
mean?
in, like, all right, so Dan worked for Buffalo, which was under Brandon Beane, different type of regime, right? Dan's also worked with Fitterer and that crew. What is Dan Morgan's vision?
Why
Is
can't
it more?
Why can't he pull from both? Both
He could.
and create his own lane.
He could, but I'm just curious about whether is it going to be mostly Buffalo, mostly Seattle, some of each. Like we don't. Is it going to be, if it's just going to be a straight clone of what Fitterer was trying to do? I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that. You know, because a lot of folks was critical. A lot of folks was critical of Fitterer so much, and now we pretty much got a partial disciple of him as our GM now. Not a full disciple, but a partial disciple.
So shout out to Richard. He said Sportsology helped hire John Lynch. If I'm not mistaken, John Lynch had zero experience
That's a fact.
in the executive realm before being named the GM of the 49ers. Absolutely correct. And I'm sure 49ers fans was going off, just like y'all are.
Yeah.
You got some listen, sometimes I get it. It's not the sexiest hire. Not the guy I wanted.
It's not about for me, it's not about if it's a sexy hire or not. My concerns boils down to whether or not Dan's going to be able to do his job. That's my biggest concern right now.
But that would apply to anybody. Yeah, you could say that about.
You're right.
You would have had that same concern about anybody that walked through that door.
Rashad.
So can we move past that, because that would have applied to anybody? Like, we got to move.
But, comma. What if that's the reason why Mike decided to sit this one out?
It might be.
That's my point, right? So that's my thing. Like, it's more about, I just hope that he can do his job. I fear because of the timing of it all, bro. It could have been a distinct possibility that Mike was the guy. And then when Mike backed out, it was like, all right, we're going to go this route. Kind of similar to Ben Johnson last year. Ben might have been the guy last year. And then Ben said, nah, I'm heading back to Detroit. And then we end up with Frank.
So, somebody says, Christian said, check out the Jonathan Jones article. Let me check it out.
All right.
See what I can find.
Hey, Grandizer, I'm hoping to keep my shows kind of short. Like, I'm trying to keep my show within an hour. That's the goal.
Dave talked too much for it to be.
Nah, well, I'm the lead, so it ain't going to look. Yeah, I already got my topics.
Dave talked way too much for it to be an hour.
I'm going to get it under 2. It ain't going to be 2. It's not going to be under 2. It ain't going to be 2. I'm still trying to prep for Evo, man. You see this controller behind me?
So let me look at this this article by Jonathan Jones real quick from CBS. According to sources, Tepper captained the search for the next GM along with his wife, Nicole, team president Christy Coleman, Panther senior assistant, and longtime NFL coach Jim Caldwell was in the building, and Mike Ford, who heads the search firm Sportsology. So there's a lot of guys in that. That's interesting.
That very interesting. So what? You know what I just heard? There were like 6 things you named, and only one was the search firm.
What do you mean? Well, I don't understand.
You named Tep. You named
Nicole.
Tepper. Nicole.
Christy
Caldwell
Coleman.
was interesting.
Christy Coleman.
Yeah. And then
Jim
Caldwell. Yep, that's 4 people. And then the guy that runs Sportsology, that's 5.
Yep.
So if they all had a vote, how many votes is Sportsology?
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm sure the Ford, it's weighted, right? I think it would be weighted based off of I'm sure they took the recommendation and at least analyzed what the sports firm was saying, or the hiring firm. So
I'm with you.
But you're right. I mean, you're right. If it's all equal, then yeah. But I don't look at it that way.
I mean, it never was a democracy when it comes to them in the first place. But that's a whole different discussion, different day. All right, we got some more super chats we got to hit.
Yep, go ahead. I'm gonna keep reading through this.
All right, RJ, shout out for super chat. No matter who ends up coming in the door for the office, I hope we step away from analytics-based player acquisitions. If you see a dude that can play, screw what is Raz or S2 says. Trust the tape.
And that's a great point. And that's probably why Dan Morgan is the GM, and they want to pair him with a analytics guy that's under him, so that the analytics guy does not make the final decision. So if you feel that way, then you should be happy about Dan Morgan
He
being
knows
the
how to
GM,
he knows how to
because
find
he's
talent.
more of a personnel scout guy. And so again, that speaks to why you should be happy about it. Again, if you don't, if for those that don't like this pick, and you, my question is, who do you like? Number one, and if it's a cap slash analytics guy, then we kind of got that in Tepper. Tepper is the analytics guy. You know what I mean? So
you're gonna get the final answer from Tepper anyway.
I mean, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is you already have a guy that knows analytics and probability and stuff like that in Tepper. Like he already, that's his you don't need two of those guys leading the charge, is what I'm saying. So it's good to have a scout guy. Again, I like the analytics. That's me. I'm just speaking for those that don't want Dan Morgan. Like if you don't want Dan Morgan, then what do you want? Like it's like you can't have it both ways. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm putting it out there. But anyway, all right. So here we go. Let's see.
Got two more.
Oh, go ahead.
Two more real fast. You ain't got to lie, Craig. Shout out to Friday. How can we measure how well Morgan does his job when we don't know how much meddling Tepper is doing? This is what I've been saying, bro.
We're not gonna. So
we're not gonna know though. Okay, we're not gonna know.
We have to focus on we don't know what's going on in the front. We're never going to know. Like for me, the way I live life is I control what I can control. Like we can't sit here and kill ourselves over every single little decision that Tepper's going to make, and if he's going to meddle. Like you're going to destroy yourself. All we can do is analyze the result of what happens. If the draft is trash, cool. Then that's how we're going to measure the success of Dan Morgan versus whoever else was there. We gotta chill, bro. We can't control those type of things. Go ahead, Dave.
Shout out to Stephen V. The question is Tepper going to let everyone do their jobs? Will we have actual change in 2024? Who the hell knows?
We don't know. We never gonna know. But go ahead and hit that last one, Dave. Big one, big super chat there.
A big super chat. Oh my God, Alex! Appreciate this, my man.
And Alex bought some popcorn too.
That's a Superman
popcorn. Shout out to Alex.
Alex out here giving all the money away. I could see the firm telling Tep, "Hey, this guy knows your personnel. He was part of the team that drafted and believes in your quarterback, and he's been part of the teams that have turned things around. And he's someone who knows the culture of the franchise. Very possible.
Ain't that what I said? That's
very
exactly
possible.
What I said earlier. He knows the personnel. He knows with the biggest contracts, Brian Burns, Derek Brown, Frankie Louvu. He knows what's going on. So you kind of got to give – he gets a little bit of a nod because he knows what it takes. He knows these people. He knows whether to move on or keep them or if they can be a part of the long. He knows it. Not to say he's not – he's the best guy for this immediate situation to get us out of this hellhole that we're in, period. And that's what they could have said. But I appreciate that, Alex. Real quick, moving on to this article. It's a great point. Okay, it says the head coach position remains vacant as the Panthers move on to a second round of interviews that will involve in-person meetings. Sources say that the search committee has included Morgan, which was a good sign for his long-term future here. Carolina had virtual interviews with 11 candidates, including 2 internal interviews with interim head coach Chris Tabor and defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero. Tepper has had his sights set on Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, who interviewed Friday with Carolina. But Johnson is the hottest candidate in the coaching circuit this cycle, and he's considered by multiple sources to be the leader for the Commanders' job at this time. Sources say Tepper favors an offensive-minded coach. He has some of the deepest pockets in the league and is one of the top 3 richest owners in the NFL, but the Carolina job just isn't one of the best available. Let's see. It doesn't really say.
I said that too.
Sorry, stuff we've said already. Yeah, so he just goes on to say what else we need to do: rebuild the offensive line, retool the wide receiver, create a pass rush with the league low sack output. Carolina doesn't have a first round pick in April. Blah 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 blah. Tepper bought the team. Blah. Okay, yeah. So we already know. We already know some of this stuff. We already know some of this stuff. But one point I want to go back to earlier is going back to Canales, because I do think Canales is the odds-on favorite at this point. Because again, Dan Morgan, they have the connection back in Seattle. It's good to have folks that you work with in the building, and it helps you because y'all have chemistry. You worked together in the past. Now, somebody said, and I meant to address this when it happened, but somebody said, "Hey, Canales did a great job, but they had those quarterbacks had great receivers in DK and Lockett and in Mike Evans and Godwin." Okay, what's your point? Go get you some talent. What does that mean? Go get you some talent, bro. Get you some talent to make Canales and Bryce Young work. Yeah, okay, they got great talent. Go get you some talent. Go get you some talent and let that man cook if Canales is the guy. I'm not saying he is the guy, but that shouldn't be the reason not to hire him because, we don't have the personnel. Bro, go get the personnel, fam.
Get the talent to make it work.
Go get him. That's the
Right.
whole point. Hey, Dan Morgan, what? Hey, bro, I need 2 good wide receivers, bro. I need some wide receivers. Help me out. All right, Dan Morgan, here I got you, bro. I got you, Canales. We gonna lock it in. Hey, can you talk to Mike Evans? I know he's a free agent. The Bucks don't want him no more. Can you talk to him? You think he'll come to Carolina, bro? Boom, and then you go. Then boom, you hit the draft. Then Keon Coleman sitting there at 33. Bro, what? Come on, man. Go get the talent, bro. Go get the talent. Go get the talent, fam. Don't let that be an excuse.
I'm with
And
you.
I'm not saying Mike Evans will come here. That's not what I'm saying at all. But at least you gotta try, bro. You gotta try. You gotta give it a shot. So y'all gotta let that. Y'all gotta again control. We can't control any. We're never gonna know unless another expose comes out about the Hunger Games mentality. We saw how that went. We knew how that was going. The only thing to make David Tepper step back is wins. Just like us shutting up and complaining, that's wins, bro. You have to win. I firmly believe that if we start winning, the less you will see of David Tepper, bro. He's only meddling because the team sucks. And it's due in part to his decisions. Absolutely. Yes, we know that. But once he gets the right people in here, you won't see him anymore, bro. You won't see him. So that's just my opinion, man. That's just my opinion.
Man. Everybody's worried about who this guy's going to pick up. How about we just wait and see what the coach is going to be? I'm starting to lean towards Canales.
That's what I think it's going to be.
Because the thing is, it's about what my other options are, and if you're talking about other options, then I would lose my mind if it's the other guy. I'm gonna be clear. If Dan Quinn is our head coach, I'm gonna lose my mind, bro.
So for those that don't know, Dan Quinn is the only other connection to Dan Morgan that's on the list of available candidates. So Dan Morgan worked with Dan Quinn out in Seattle as well. They were all together on that Super Bowl run in Seattle. So yeah, man, it's interesting. It is. I'm picking Canales too, bro. I think Canales is the guy of available. And again, do I think Canales is the best candidate out there? Absolutely not. Do I think? Again, I said it earlier. I don't know that anybody was talking about Dave Canales prior to the playoffs. Nobody was talking about this man.
No.
Yep. Risby says Dan Quinn hasn't gotten a second interview request though. I don't know. Has he? I don't know who got second interview. I don't know, to be honest with you. I can't keep up. Let me see let me see who has gotten a second. I got to do the research. I was saving that for the show tomorrow. I don't want to spill all the beans for the show tomorrow. We got 803 people in the building. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button and hit that pin comment or the pin link in the chat to purchase some popcorn for your boy. I appreciate that. All right, so yeah, I saw that. Yep, well, Carlo, we saw that. We talked about that earlier with Jonathan Jones. Carlo just sent me a text about the search people that was in the search room or the search committee or in the interview room with the making the decision on the GM.
This is Carson's preference. I wouldn't be mad at any three of these. I just think that I think Canales is probably number one, and I fear that number two might not be neither one of these.
So these are the guys that got second interviews so far: Evero, Slowick, Canales, and Morris. I think those are the guys that got second interviews.
They might try to close this thing up.
Oh, that was the second interviews. That was the second interviews, Dave. That's what he was saying.
Okay.
I don't know if Slowick got a second interview yet. Did he?
I don't know. I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
Shout out to Alex, man. Grab some of that popcorn, man. Support a good cause. And grab some of the popcorn, man. And keep me in first place. Slowick has not gotten a second interview yet. Shout out to Carlo. Carlo says he has not gotten a second interview yet. Vrabel and Harbaugh, they have not gotten interviews. They are not coming here. We are on second round of interviews. We are not going back to first round interviews.
We are not.
So you can count those two guys off.
Man, we knew Harbaugh wasn't coming, man. We knew that wasn't coming. Because, Harbaugh wants all the power. So,
and so to Seeker's point, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a connection to Dan.
It doesn't.
It doesn't have to be.
It's about it's just preparing as such. I mean, it just wouldn't be shocking because people would like to work with people that they know.
So it's just 3 second round interviews so far. Just 3, like Carson said. Carson said Evero, Canales, Raheem Morris. Those are 3 guys. Raheem Morris knows the South too. So
Canales, we don't give up the comp pick. That the Bucks would earn it. But has Canales been there 2 years?
Let me see.
We don't lose a pick if we hire Canales. The Bucks would just get a pick.
The picks are comp picks, which come from the NFL.
Yeah, the NFL gives the pick out. So we don't lose a pick.
They would not get a comp pick. They would not get a comp pick. He's only been there since 2023. 1 year.
No comp pick for
him.
He
was quarterbacks coach for Seattle in 2022. So they would not get a comp pick, which makes that hire even sweeter.
Keep Raheem Morris far away from my squad. 21-38 overall record as a head coach, which only one season over 4 wins and 4 attempts. You know what, man? I get it, but you got to remember how he got that job. He got that job because the Bucks couldn't get who they wanted, and so they ended up having to give it. They ended up promoting him from within. That was not the original plan. So he kind of took the team over after the loss of John Gruden. So you gotta have the perspective of what happened. It's been years since that happened,
and he's only had one crack at it too, bro.
He's only had one crack at it.
It's not like he's got multiple, and it's the Bucks, bro. I mean, it was the lowly. This is the lowly Bucks.
They were lowly at that point, and he did get a double-digit season with those lowly Bucks. He had Josh Freeman's best season happened under Morris.
Facts.
I like
Josh Freeman too back in the day, man.
Yeah, y'all. It's an easy slander show, but remember, a lot of us wanted Wilkes too. And before he came here, nobody would have touched him with a 10-foot pole. He needs a second opportunity.
A lot of y'all was begging for Wilkes, and Wilkes was trash. Okay?
In Arizona, even though it was a raw deal that he got in Arizona.
Yeah,
because he didn't even get the quarterback he wanted, and they gave him only 1 year. And a lot of folks brought the record up then. And then all of a sudden, we bring this guy in and only got 2 games like he did.
Yeah.
So let's not.
And for those that are saying yes, he was he was with the Falcons as well. He was the Falcons
pass game coordinator and wide receivers coach.
Yeah, so he knows. Yeah, assistant.
He knows both sides.
Too. Assistant head coach too. Yep, and wide receivers coach. Yep.
Defensive coordinator for the Rams when they won their last Super Bowl. Yep. And y'all well, their defense wasn't good this year. They had 2 third-round picks that led the rookies in sacks.
Facts.
So you can develop players too.
I would not be mad. I'm not mad at I'm not mad at Raheem. And
he deserves a second crack at it.
And he has a connection to Evero. Evero and him work together. So
if y'all want Evero, they've worked together.
Sense.
And it's a safe bet that he will keep him on staff.
It would make complete sense.
Bruh. And that means
Evero's not going anywhere, bro.
You don't think
not
so?
going anywhere. No, he's not going anywhere, bro.
You're
Evero's
very
not
confident.
going anywhere. Only way he goes somewhere is if he gets hired somewhere. And it's a possibility. He is getting second interviews, I think, with the Titans, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only way Evero goes.
All right, let's hit these super chats up. I gotta bounce in about 5. But let me hit these super chats up. Can this be a positive like John Lynch in San Francisco? We'll see. Shout out to the super chat, Mello Stillmatic. They came hot. The question is, what style of offense will be best for the Panthers? Dave, Ben Johnson, or the Shanahan tree? The Shanahan. I'm like Shanahan tree. Thanks, Mr. Who knows, bro? Like, I don't know. I have no idea. At least Dan knows our team's culture. Valid point. He was in ATL too.
Yep.
He was in ATL too. Because after that was the only opportunity that he was getting, he ended up coaching the offense.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm not mad. And this is from a guy that wants an offensive mind. And I know he was a pass game coordinator. I don't think that it kind of counts, I guess. But Raheem, I would not be mad at Raheem. He would definitely bring that. Y'all talk about culture. He would bring that here. He would bring that.
And they've pretty much said, well, and there's already been multiple players said, well, I'm not gonna get in trouble for tampering, but wherever Raheem goes, I'm gonna try to go too. Like, dog, we just had these discussions in the past about whether or not players want to come play here. The players love that man, and good ass players love him. So why we worry? We always talk about who we want to get, but he knows how to get players here. You might need somebody like that, and that's not a shot to Canales. Who knows what Canales has? But Raheem obviously got enough of a pulse that there's players that's willing to switch teams to go play for him, like a Jalen Ramsey, for example. Y'all keep on talking about how much we need corners, right? Who did the Bucks want it? I can't remember, man. That was so long ago. I just recall that he got the interim head coaching tag when Gruden was gone, and then they ended up having to promote him as head coach. And it sounded like they didn't get who they wanted to get.
And low key regarding Raheem, he comes from the Shanahan McVay tree too. So he did work for Mike Shanahan back in the day. He was on that 2013 coaching staff. He was on that 2013 that all-star coaching staff. So so we got to that is something, man. We'll focus on that tomorrow. I think we'll break down all the.
We'll focus on that. We're gonna do a whole episode on coaches tomorrow.
Show on that tomorrow. I think that'll be great. We'll dive into all the coaching trees and who's the best fit, the offensive schemes, because y'all asked some great questions, and we'll have more on that tomorrow. Just one last final thing before we get out of here. Make sure y'all hit that pin chat. Buy some popcorn from your boy. My lead is slim. My lead is slim.
But you have a lead.
I don't know. Let me check. Am I still in first? Barely. Got to get it going. Let's get it going, folks.
You out here trying to curb stop people, man.
Hey, if you ain't first, you're last, homie. If you ain't first, you're last. Hit that pin comment. I appreciate y'all super chats, but go ahead and hit that daggone link, the pin chat. Buy some popcorn for your boy. Support a good cause. I would greatly appreciate that. The sale will end before tomorrow's show. I repeat, the sale will end before tomorrow's show. I also have a community post out there that has a link to check it out. Buy some popcorn, man. Appreciate y'all. If you ain't first, you're last. Me and Dave. Well, Dave,
if you ain't last, you're Dave.
I'm first. Yeah, Dave stole one of my cells.
What are you talking about, man?
If I lose, I'm blaming you, bro.
Dog, there's only one person that bought popcorn for me. You know who that was?
That's you.
Me.
But you could have bought it for me.
Dog, look, man. Look, man. I can't be out here with the zeros. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can't be out here getting shut out.
We got a couple of zeros on the board, but it's all good.
But I don't want to be one of them. But all right, man. Like I said, I got my show MD.
Make sure y'all check out Dave's show at HBCU Nightly. I'm getting up out of here. I was going to do a mock draft. I was actually going to do. Go ahead, Dave. You could drop. I'm going to do a mock draft for the people.
Oh, you ain't do one today?
I have not done one today, man. I'm gonna do a mock draft.
If you pull it up, I got 10 minutes.
I got to do a mock draft. I owe y'all a mock draft, man. Let me stop capping because I was going to give y'all a mock draft. Let me do a mock draft. It is mock draft Monday. I got y'all, bro. I got y'all. For the people. Some of y'all bought some popcorn, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do a mock draft. I got y'all. Which one y'all want to use? Y'all want to use PFF?
Yeah, just pick one. I gotta move my meeting. I got a meeting, but I'm moving it.
Dave, you could drop, bro. We just cool.
No, I want to see the mock draft. I want to see what. Look, I want to ruin it. I want to pick somebody hilarious at the first pick. I'll probably do a round or two, and then I'll disappear.
Let me see.
Because my partners on the show ain't gonna be able to hop in until 7:15 anyway. So we got 7:20. So we got a little bit of time.
I got y'all. Mock draft Monday on deck. Just when I was gonna get out of here. Now, because I'm doing this mock draft, y'all gotta buy some popcorn. You know what I mean? Hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours.
Look, man.
Here we go. All right. Let me get this background right. Here we go. All right, there we go. All right. So Panthers on the clock. Let's get it cracking. I'm not gonna trade this first one. We'll just go straight draft here. Start the draft.
Go. Who you been taking, man? You know what I want.
It's been switching. It's been switching, bro. It's been switching. It depends on who's there. I can make a couple conversations depending on who's there.
All right.
Let me make it bigger for y'all.
Leonard Taylor.
Oh shoot.
That's too big. Pause.
Hey, yo, come on, man.
I said pause.
You did, bro. Jeez, though. It's flagrant.
You look, bruh.
I can't see everybody because
it was fine the way it was.
All right, here we go. All right. So Tez Walker, Troy Fontanu, Dave. That's probably who you want. Troy Fontanu, tackle from Washington.
I prefer. Real talk though. I prefer a guard.
Well, like Graham Barton could also play guard, so you can go there too. But this is where I would go at 33. Keon Coleman is where I would go.
Well, you know everybody in the chat's gonna want
going
the wide receiver.
If it's me, I'm taking Keon Coleman right here, bro.
Somebody said Tez Walker.
I like Tez, but I'm taking Keon Coleman, bro. It's not even a question. But I can make an argument. For Fontanu.
Yeah, can he play guard?
He probably can switch inside, but Graham Barton could probably. Both of these guys are natural tackles, but they probably can move inside.
We need somebody that can be inside, bro. What about that edge rusher? We need an edge too.
I'm not.
Ain't no guarantee we're gonna re-sign Burns, so it's probably need the edge rusher.
Bro,
too.
I'm going Keon, man. I can't. I gotta go Keon, Dave.
Oh Lord.
You can get guard.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Take your
Keon Coleman, bro.
Take your little.
Keon Coleman, it is.
There you go. Do your little. I gotta be careful, man.
How do you buy popcorn? Hey, look at the pin chat. Look at the pin chat. Look at your chat. Now look at the top. It's a pin link right in that chat. Click that button. And buy some popcorn from your boy. I appreciate that. All right. Keon can't get separation. That's what y'all talking. Y'all keep this the same thing they be saying about folks, man. That's the same thing y'all be saying until they ball out. That when they ball out in college, y'all see they can't separate. All right, so here we go. We got Zach Frazier, center. Dave, you like that one? Brendan Rice.
Center. You got your wide receiver. Get your center, bro. Get somebody interior. Unless you like the edge rusher right there, but otherwise, I would go in and take Zach Frazier.
So y'all like Zach Frazier? Probably can slide him at guard. If Bozeman is working out, you can move him to guard, or you got your center of the future. I ain't mad at that. Kingsley a tackle too. You got King.
Got to get the inside. Look, man, the inside is the most important.
I agree.
So we got to get somebody in the interior.
Plays left tackle too, and play some right. But okay. So what about this scenario, Dave? What if we draft a guy and move Icky to guard?
I'm fine with it, but do you think that somebody can just walk in and be a better player than Icky at the tackle position? I'm not questioning that. I think we're expecting too much. You know what I'm saying? I think we're expecting too much. I think we should have learned that from when we drafted a guard last year from North Carolina State. I think we're expecting too much. So you expect you want to move Icky over to guard, and then you expect a rookie tackle is going to take his job. That seems too much, especially a rookie 3rd round tackle, not even a 2nd round tackle, a 3rd round tackle to take his job. I'd rather just get a center or a guard, bro. That's just my opinion. That's my thought on the matter.
So do we think Zach Frazier can play guard? I've looked at this. He plays all center, bro. He's like a pure center, 6'3", 310. Look at this, pure center, bro. Whole career, nowhere else but center.
To put him at center, move Bozeman.
That's what y'all thinking?
Put him at center.
Zach better than Bozeman. Move Bozeman to guard, maybe.
Yep.
All right, here we go. So this super chat real quick. Joel says if we don't, I'm assuming get Johnson or Slowick. Let's promote Evero. I'd rather start healthy. Culture habits like rewarding someone inside for doing their job. And that's what they just did with Dan Morgan. Cooper is available. You talking about the linebacker?
Take the center, bro. Like, why are we arguing about this?
All right, Dave.
Our offensive line is so like you guys are gonna look. You guys are like so y'all got a short-term memory when it comes to this. I know what I watched this year.
Dave, I know Bryce center. I took the center. Dave says center, bro.
Like why are we arguing about this?
He told y'all.
I told y'all. Why are we arguing about this? This is not hard. Because y'all will be the first ones to complain. Marshawn.
They're saying BB. Hold on. Let me check BB because y'all keep saying he. I don't think BB is available.
It's two E's. B with two E's.
That ain't there either.
Oh, well. All right. Let's see here. Who's left?
Tate Ratledge. Guard.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
My man said, "What wide receivers are available?"
We just.
I'm just asking what the people want.
What's the edge? Okay, what the edge rusher looking like?
Darius Robinson, Van Pran. It's a lot of tight end. They asked about tight end. Cade Stover. Zinter, when healthy, Zinter's a problem. Only problem is he's coming off a major injury. Don't know if he's gonna be ready to go. But Zinter should be a 2nd round guard when healthy. They're saying Stover. They're saying running back. I'm cool on running back right now. I don't know about running back. I got y'all. I know what. Trust me, ain't nobody pounding the table for a running back more than me. But I think we can get a running back anywhere. Jaden, my man said Jaden Hicks. I didn't see Hicks in the. Let me see.
There's an edge rusher from Missouri, but I don't know if he's any good. But all right, I'm about to make my move, guys. You guys have a lovely one. You guys have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow live. Y'all can check me out on HBCU Nightly in about 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes or so. Peace.
All right, Dave. So here's the wide receivers that are available. You got Baby Moose there. We got Keon Coleman, by the way. You remember that? We got Keon Coleman. So I ain't really going too crazy over wide receiver because we got Keon Coleman. But I'm looking at either Tate Ratledge. Let's see if he plays right guard specifically. That'd be great, and he does because I'm not all in on the Austin Corbett coming back train. I'm gonna go ahead and take Tate Ratledge here, bro. I'm gonna get Tate Ratledge because you got to fix that offensive line. Guard is again. I'm not sold on Zavala just yet. Austin Corbett, don't know if he's coming back healthy. Again, back-to-back season-ending injuries. I don't know. I can't trust it. I can't trust it, bro. Yeah, I do, bro. I do like Zinter. I do like Zinter, but he's injured. We already got injured guards. I can't double down on injured guards. But I do like Zinter a lot. All right, so here we go. Edge rushers, Cam Hart, Baby Moose. We can go get Baby Moose right here. That would be dope. Jaheim Bell, Cedric Gray. I like Cedric Gray a lot. Frank Gore Jr. Frank Gore Jr. here is solid. 5'8", 195. I thought he's bigger than that. What y'all thinking here? I like Gray. I do like Gray, but I don't. I'm not really panicking over linebacker either. I'm not panicking over linebacker. I think we need more of an edge than a interior linebacker. I don't know much about this Brennan Jackson kid. 6'4", 264. Outside tackle. So yeah, he's more of an edge guy. I don't know about his speed. 11% win rate. Pass rush grade is solid. 9 sacks. I think he might be a guy we need to build off of. I like Jaheim Bell, but I don't know that Jaheim Bell is the type of tight end like I'm looking for. I need a true receiver threat at tight end, like what Stephon Sullivan was becoming. He was developing into that. That's what I want. So I'm cool. I'm cool on Bell. And I'm a Florida State fan. I think I might go with Brennan Jackson here. All these guys y'all talking about are gone. Leggett, Graham Burton, those guys are gone. Stover's gone. Let me look at the tight ends. Yeah, I'm chilling on some of these. Although you always gotta take you a tight end from Iowa. Tight end from Iowa, man. They always ball out. They always ball out. I don't know much about that kid, but you got to get you a tight end from Iowa. Now we got Keon Coleman. I like Leggett, but I like Coleman too. I guess that's my first day bias kicking in. All right, so let me make this pick. I'm gonna go Brennan Jackson, get an edge rusher. Yeah, because I feel like we do need another edge. You got to replace Marquise Haynes, so I'm gonna go edge there. Let's see. With this next pick, who is available? I like Jalen Ford. I know I was just talking about linebackers, but I like Jalen Ford a lot. Let me see. Sebastian Castro. 5'11", 205. Yeah, I was thinking cornerback depth myself. That's exactly what I was thinking. Cornerback depth. And I don't know too much about this kid, Castro. What about Willie Roberts? 5'11", 190. Let me filter by corners. I'm about to take Baby Moose in a second for the culture. I'm gonna take Baby Moose for the culture. Yeah, I'm thinking secondary too. I just don't know who. I don't like the smaller cornerbacks. I like the 6 foot kind of I like the 6 foot 202 something corners. If I'm looking for build, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I might double dip at wide receiver later, but I do think cornerback is what I'm focusing on now. I like Malik Washington. Y'all want to go Malik Washington? Y'all want to double dip here? Double dip at wide receiver here? He is the kind of that scat receiver, speed. I'll take Malik. I'll double dip there. I'll double dip from with Malik right there. I like what y'all doing. I like what y'all did there. But I definitely want to get some cornerback depth at some point. It's got to happen within. I think our last pick is a 7th round pick. Got to get some cornerback depth. Yeah, I could have went with Moose, baby Moose. See if I can get a cornerback. Falcons got baby Moose. Yeah, that would be a travesty, wouldn't it? That would be a travesty in real life. Let's see what cornerbacks are available. Tony Grimes. My man didn't play last year. I don't know if he was injured or what. We're looking for somebody we can build. He said trash. Grimes is trash. We're looking for somebody we can build with, man. Someone we can develop. Y'all know I'll go with a Florida State guy. I'll go with Cypress. F it. Cypress it is. My man said, give me a kicker. Yep. So here's our draft. Keon Coleman, wide receiver out of Florida State. Get a B plus there. I think they're hating. Zach Frazier, center. Definitely need to bolster up the interior. Tate Ratledge. Again, we're bolstering up that interior, the offensive line. Brennan Jackson, they gave us an A- for that. Like that pick too. Malik Washington, B- for wide receiver out of Virginia. And Fitzgerald Cypress, C-. I think this is solid. Got us a couple wide receivers, bolstered the offensive line, got us an edge rusher. Considering the lack of resources we have, this is a solid pick. Solid pick. Solid pick. All right. With that said, since we hung around and did a mock draft on Mock Draft Monday, make sure y'all hit that pinned comment or pin link in the chat. Scroll right up to the top. See it right at the top. Y'all see it. Purchase some popcorn from your boy. I need that popcorn love. Run me that popcorn money. Help me stay in first place. All right. That being said, hit that like button on the way out. Check out some of the other YouTubers going live. I know we got some other guys probably live right now. Check those guys out. Make sure you hit that like button on the way out. Subscribe, notification bell, get in the comments. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. We got a jam-packed show breaking down all the coaches. And we'll holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.